Alright, so today we're going to look at how to actually understand enums in Dart, and it's really relevant for Flutter programming. So in our Dart series, we actually did not touch on this, so we're going to add this to our Dart series, and this will be very good for you to actually know and understand how to use it in the Flutter project. So let's look at enums. Enums is basically what? It's a list of name constant value. So you can see list of what? Name constant value. And we use the enum keyword, which is used to define the enumeration type in that. So we use, for example, if you look at the syntax here, we have the keyword enum, then we have the enum name, it can be any name, and then we have the constant value, first value, and blah blah blah. But what you should note is that it defines a collection of constants. A collection of what? Constant. Okay, so we look at enum as the keyword to initialize the enumeration data type, which is here, and then the enum name, which is given for the enum class. Naming convention is used for what? The naming convention of what? The enumeration, which is here, the name. And then we have the constant, that is the data member inside here, and it's been separated by a comma. So you need to take note of this. Enum class last data member will not have a comma. So well, not necessarily can have a comma, but not really needed. Okay, you can get it there or not. So we say when to use what? Enums, right? So basically, if you want to do something like a common example is weekdays. So for example, if you know in your development time, you'll be having a constant what? Constant names like Monday to Sunday. These are constant, which does not change along the line. So you can use enums to represent this as a list in your what? In your project. So like a drop-down menu. Good. So this is basically what you have to know in enum. So you need to know you need to know the values ahead of time during the development time. Then you can actually use it as a list. So we said list of constant value, and it's used when all the constant value at what? Development. So if you know these will not be changing in runtime or in the future or something, you can simply use this enum and then refer it in your code. And it's basically have the same what? Constant and data type normally in that form. So if you are using numbers, you need to have these members to be in numbers. And if you are using a string, these members to be in string. So let's get started with an example. So let's take the days, for example, the Monday to whatever, for example. How to use this in that? We simply start with the keyword enum. As I said, then we can start with maybe enum days, and this is actually the enum name, right? Then we have curly bracket here. For example, I can start with Monday here, then I have my comma. I can add Tuesday, and I have my comma, and then the others. So Wednesday, and then have your comma, and then you can actually add the others. Yeah, you can list whatever. This is just an example. So let's look here how to actually call the enums in the main. So if we want to simply loop and then display all the what? The members in the enum, we can use this simple for, and then we can call, we first have to call the exact name of the enum, that is days. Let's say days name, right? In what? In days dot what? Dot the values which are in the enum. So we call this dot the values like this. And here we need to actually use the enum we have called. And then what are we going to print out? We're going to print out this, which is the name, days name in days dot value. So you need to call this. Good. So instead to call the days, you don't call that, you just call the name here, and that will be fine. Then you can print this one out perfectly. This is a good example on how to use enum. So anytime you need it, you can actually call the days right like this. Okay, what you can also use enums in switch statement, which is also really pretty cool, and it will save you a lot of time and also have you develop very fast. So for example, we are having maybe enum for fruit, where we already know the list of fruit we want to use in our project. For example, we say we have apple, we have probably, let's say, banana, and then we can say probably grape. Okay, grape, and we can end it here. So if we actually gonna use the switch, then we need to have the switch statement inside the main. Okay, so let me start with the small. Okay, so for example, using a switch for this, we can have a switch statement, and we call our switch keyword, right? And then we have our condition in here, and then we have our curly bracket in here. Then we can have a case like, for example, we can have a case of case 1, if fruit. So this is actually the same. You need to call the enum name here, yes, just like I've done, and then you can call the values dot it, all the values, or you can call it one by one. So if I do maybe probably apple, then I'm gonna print out apple. So if apple is selected, then it's gonna print something inside the print statement. So for example, we can say you selected apple. Very easy. Okay, and then we can add our break, but semicolon here, and then we add our break. And for this break, after this break, we can repeat several of them. I think this is a very easy thing we already know. Then here we can do the next one by calling the next maybe banana, and then we can have another one, and then we call grape. Yes, so grape, this one. So this will be you selected what? Let me start the cup, banana, and here you selected what? Grape or grapes. Good. So let's now run this. This will not work because we have to actually give the condition which one we are selecting, since this is just a demo. So let me use a variable. Let's say choose what? Let me say choose enum what? Enum fruit. Choose enum fruit. Okay, perfect. Then we'll just assign the enum. Oh, sorry. This will be the enum name. This one. Dot the exact what fruit we want to choose. So I can say, okay, I want to choose probably banana here, and then I'm gonna terminate this. Okay, good. But all right, so what we'll do is to call this variable in here, fruit. Good. So if I do this, I can run now, and then I'm gonna actually what? Actually display banana, this one. Yes. Yeah, and this should work perfectly fine. Yes, so this is just it. So anyone you actually want to choose, you can actually define it here. If you want to choose or select all the values, then you can do the dot values. But mostly in a switch, you need to actually select one of them, right? Yeah, but if you are using all for the first one I did, then you can actually do what? Select all the value using the for. Yeah, so switch, you need to actually select the values and then it will display its content for you. Perfect. So this is actually the end of the enums tutorial, and if you have any questions, you can actually comment below and then we're going to get back to you as soon as possible. Peace. I'm out.